The first thing Ambassador Zixtal noticed about Earth wasn't the breathtaking blue oceans or the swirling white clouds. It was the warning beacon that had been broadcasting for the past 3 solar cycles. Dear aliens, welcome to DeathWorld. We're sorry in advance. James Chen, humanity's first xenobiological liaison, stood at the landing platform of New Geneva Spaceport, adjusting his collar nervously. Beside him, Dr. Lisa Martinez clutched her tablet containing Earth's Survival Guide for Visiting Species, a document that had grown to over 3,000 pages since the Galactic Council had approved first contact. Remember, Lisa whispered, we start with the basics. Don't mention the Australian wildlife until at least day 3. The Zephyrian delegation's ship touched down with barely a whisper, its crystalline hull shimmering in Earth's harsh yellow sunlight. James watched as the aliens' environmental suits immediately began adjusting to what they undoubtedly considered extreme conditions. To humans, it was a pleasant spring morning. Ambassador Zixtal emerged first, their translucent form, wobbling slightly in Earth's gravity. Through their suit's speaker, their voice carried a melodic quality that reminded James of wind chimes. Greetings, humans. We are grateful for your hospitality, despite the rather ominous welcome message. Oh, that. Lisa laughed nervously. It's just a precaution. We've had some incidents with previous visitors. What she didn't mention was the Keltorian science team that had fled screaming after witnessing a house cat play with a mouse, or the Vorthon diplomats who had required intensive therapy after learning about human childbirth. The galaxy, it seemed, was populated by species that had evolved on much gentler worlds than Earth. James gestured toward the transport vehicle. Shall we begin the tour? We've prepared a very mild introduction to our planet. The convoy moved through the city at a careful pace, avoiding the construction zones where humans worked in conditions that would be lethal to most galactic species. Even so, Zixtal's assistant, Merlon, kept pointing at things with barely concealed horror. Are those humans operating heavy machinery in direct sunlight? Merlon asked. It's only 85 degrees Fahrenheit, Lisa replied helpfully. Quite comfortable, really. She didn't mention that 85 degrees was considered a heat emergency on 17 different council worlds. Their first stop was the Natural History Museum, specifically the wing Lisa had carefully curated to showcase Earth's gentler side. They started with herbivorous dinosaurs and early mammals, but even that proved challenging. Your planet's history is violent, Zixtal observed, studying a triceratops skeleton. These creatures lived in a constant state of warfare. Oh no, James corrected. This was actually one of our more peaceful periods. The triceratops was herbivorous. It only used those horns for defense. The ambassador's form flickered with what their briefings had identified as distress. On Zephyr Prime, the most aggressive creature was roughly equivalent to a terrestrial butterfly, and even then, only during mating season. Lisa guided them to the next exhibit, trying to stay positive. And here we have some of our ocean life. This is a dolphin. They're actually quite intelligent and friendly. They look predatory, Merlon noted, studying the display. Well, they do hunt fish, but they're really quite playful. They've been known to save drowning humans. What Lisa carefully omitted was that dolphins were also known for their more aggressive behaviors, their complex social warfare, and their occasional sociopathic tendencies. Some truths about Earth were best revealed gradually. The real challenge came during lunch. The restaurant had prepared what they considered the mildest possible human cuisine: bread, cheese, fruits, and vegetables. Even so, the aliens approached each item with scientific instruments. This fruit, Zixtal said, scanning an apple, appears to be acidic. Barely, James assured them. It's quite sweet, actually. The pH level that humans considered sweet was roughly equivalent to industrial solvent on 12 council worlds. As the day progressed, the cultural exchange became increasingly strained. The aliens were fascinated by human art, until Lisa made the mistake of showing them a nature documentary. The footage of a cheetah hunt sent Merlon into what appeared to be shock. Your species documents these acts of violence for entertainment? Zixtal asked. It's educational, James explained. We want to understand and preserve our ecosystem. Your ecosystem is a continuous cycle of consumption and death, the ambassador pointed out. Well, yes, Lisa admitted, but also life and adaptation and incredible beauty. That evening, as the delegation retired to their specially constructed, climate-controlled, completely sterile habitat, James and Lisa debriefed in the adjacent monitoring room. I think it went well, James said optimistically. Lisa stared at him. James, they asked if we were planning to conquer the galaxy. When I said no, they seemed surprised that a species that evolved on a DeathWorld wouldn't be interested in expanding our territory through violence. What did you tell them? The truth, that we're generally too busy trying to survive our own planet to bother conquering others, and that despite everything, we've learned to cooperate with each other precisely because this world is so dangerous. Through the observation window, they could see Zixtal composing their daily report to the Galactic Council. James wondered what they were writing about humanity, the species that lived on a world where the weather could kill you, where the local fauna included creatures that could bite through steel, and where the dominant species had somehow thrived by developing not just intelligence but compassion. The next morning brought a new challenge. Zixtal had requested to observe human children at play. Are you sure that's wise? Lisa asked. They want to understand how we raise our young in such a hostile environment, James replied. I think they're trying to figure out if we're naturally violent or if our world made us that way. As they watched a group of 5-year-olds playing soccer, children who thought nothing of running around in Earth's crushing gravity, breathing its oxygen-rich atmosphere, and competing with each other in what the aliens probably perceived as ritualized combat, James realized something important. Humanity wasn't scary because they were violent. They were remarkable because they had learned to be kind despite everything their world had thrown at them. Every act of human cooperation, every moment of compassion, every choice to help rather than harm was a victory against the DeathWorld that had forged them. That night, Zixtal's report to the Galactic Council would read, Humans are not to be feared for their strength, but admired for their gentleness. Any species that can evolve empathy on a DeathWorld may be exactly what the galaxy needs. The Q warning beacon still broadcasts its apologetic message, but now it's accompanied by an invitation. Come learn how kindness can flourish anywhere.